Good Thursday afternoon. I'm Guy McPherson of GuyMcPherson.com, which will lead you to Nature Bats Last. I'm going to present a few headlines dating back to Monday up through this morning, and in fact until this afternoon when the stock market's closed. It's a short week on Wall Street this week, with the stock markets closing at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And so here we are, just a little bit after 1:30 on the East Coast. From MarketWatch on Monday, what bubble? Millionaires are getting positioned for a strong market in 2021. But there's some bad news, of course, from the Wall Street Journal. Google, Facebook agreed to team up against possible antitrust action, draft lawsuit says. So, caught with their hands in the cookie jar? Maybe. We'll see. From CNBC, U.S. student debt has increased by more than 100% over the past 10 years. That's got to be really bad for the stock market, because those kids aren't going to be able to get a job high enough to pay back their student loans. From the Wall Street Journal, U.S. sues Walmart, alleging role in fueling opioid crisis. To which I can only say, duh. And speaking of pharmaceutical products, this from CNN, Pfizer and Moderna are testing their vaccines against UK coronavirus variant. And on the other side of that coin, from Reuters, millions of US vaccine doses sit on ice, putting 2020 goal in doubt. From the story, the Trump administration promised to vaccinate 20 million by the end of the year while providing little funding to achieve that goal. That's 9 days to give out nearly 19 million shots, or over 2 million people vaccinated a day, including on Christmas Day, tomorrow. So, that seems like it's a rather optimistic agenda. Meanwhile, speaking of the pandemic, this from the Washington Post yesterday, pandemic relief effort is thrown into chaos. And from the lead, President Trump's last-minute move to reject a sweeping coronavirus relief package is escalating confusion and panic among Republicans, while setting the stage for an uncomfortable confrontation Thursday that could lead GOP lawmakers to object to their own president's demand for larger stimulus checks for Americans. That's right, the Washington Post, never reluctant to throw blame at somebody, this time is throwing the blame at the presidential administration that's headed out the door and claiming that they are responsible for everything going wrong with the coronavirus. And sure enough, from the Wall Street, also from the Washington Post this morning, an update on their story from yesterday, House GOP blocks vote on $2,000 checks. So what the Democrats had in mind was a $2,000 check, which is paltry, and what the Republicans had in mind was an even paltrier $600 check, leaving the situation with a heavy dose of chaos going into the long weekend. And finally, from the Wall Street Journal, Brexit trade deal is reached between UK and European Union. The accord sets out terms of a much more distant relationship, averts worst fears of economic disruption, and despite that, the three major indexes in the United States finished slightly up today, and the NASDAQ finished up for the short week. The Dow Jones and the S&P 500 finished slightly down for the week. So there you have it. None of the news that's fit to print ever makes it to print. And what we have instead is this mixed bag of horrible news. It all leads me to my common situation. That's right, one of those. This time from me, not from this character.